Salve pessoal, beleza? Aqui é o Hafa e hoje temos o imenso prazer de receber a lenda do vocal, Jeff Scott Soto!
É isso aí, galera. Estamos aqui com Jeff Scott Soto, um dos melhores vocalistas do mundo, se não for o melhor, né? Já participou de várias bandas como Talisman, Malmsteen e também Journey. E hoje ele está em carreira solo. Veio para o Brasil fazer alguns shows aí, Boogie Nights, foi bem legal, anos 70. E vamos conversar com ele agora sobre... fazer algumas perguntinhas depois do show que ele fez aqui com a gente. Você não pode perder, assiste aí se você ainda não assistiu. Jeff,
Yes, sir.
you have had a Brazilian band for a long time.
Not a long time. I've been associated with two Brazilians. It was BJ and Edu for a long time. Also associated with Leo because he's written so many songs for JSS albums and for Soto albums. Leo's contributed to so many different things on records as well as on stage. It started mainly with having BJ and Edu in my solo band, and then it turned into a band called Soto. And now we kind of mix the two. When I'm doing JSS gigs, I still need them, but then I get the other two guys, Leo and Baboom, and that's my complete band in Brazil.
Good. And how did you come up with them? How did you meet them?
It started 23 years ago. My first time I came to São Paulo was 2002. And I was brought out here by Carlos Chiaroni, who owns Animal Records. He has this annual Hard and Heavy party, and he wanted to bring Jeff Scott Soto out here. And I said, great. My band is really excited. He said, no, just you. And I'm like, oh, no. I don't do anything without my band. I said, I don't trust that people can do my songs or Talisman songs or Yngwie songs the way I expect them. And so I was a little concerned. So he said, trust in me. Let me record them at the rehearsal, and you can listen, and then you can decide if it's good enough. I heard them. I got perfect. These are my guys. And it started in 2002, and 23 years later, they're still associated with me.
Quarter century already.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy, yeah.
It's not a surprise to anyone that your vocal versatility is quite impressive.
Not today.
Always.
It's difficult to sing. During the day, I have to wake up at like 7 o'clock in the morning to sing in the afternoon, but it's okay. We get through it.
Do you adjust your technique based on the genre, or is just all instinctive?
It's all instinct. I don't really have technique. I've learned a few things, how to warm up. I've learned the obvious things of what to do, like to stay hydrated, to get enough sleep, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not trained. I've taken one lesson in my entire life with an actual vocal coach. When I was with Journey, they thought it might be a good idea to work with Steve Perry's coach, and he also worked with Steve O'Jerry. I did one lesson with him, and I recorded the lesson. I trimmed I edited all the stuff out that I don't need, and I only use the versions of that lesson to go and all the different things to warm up. Otherwise, I'm on my own.
Nice, very nice.
40 years I'm doing it like this, and it's still working. Ooh.
Good. And you're doing now Boogie Nights here in Brazil, right?
We did it the other night because my first time in Brazil, in São Paulo, we did it in 2002. And I think we did it again in, I want to say 2009 or 10, something like that. We did a Boogie Night show. We do it once in a while. It's not, I don't want it to become a regular thing because I don't want people to think I'm trying to do things just to either make money or try to do things just to try to confuse people.
Right.
So we did it the other night out of, it was Leo and his wife they wanted to host the show, they promoting the show, and they said, let's do it just for fun and let's see what happens. And it was a big turnout and everybody's excited, they want to do more. So I'm like, everything I don't want to do. But no, we're talking about the possibilities of maybe having these guys in a Boogie Nights kind of band. I can train the singer, I can train the band, the moves, the choreography and all that stuff. But I really don't I can't be flying every 3 weeks to come and do a Boogie Nights gig from the US. I've got so much other things going on, but it would be great to have a regular thing going on. And then when I'm here, I can join them.
Yes.
And you started very young with Malmsteen. Yeah. What lessons from that time still matters to you today?
Well, one of the biggest lesson I learned when I was with Yngwie is how to do things and how not to do things. And what I saw, not necessarily Yngwie, but the management, just the way things were run, I saw that's not the way I want to do things with my own career, with my own future. So I learned a lot from there that I took into my own world and into the next steps of my career. And that's why I'm still doing this, I guess.
So the business was very, very important.
That's one of my advice I always give to young musicians when they say, what advice do you have for new musicians? I said, besides the fact that you have to stay with it. If you really want it, you have to stay with it, because when you get no, 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 one day you're going to get one yes. And that means you're meant to be there. That's my first advice. But the second advice, and it's the most important advice, learn the business. There's so many ways you can get screwed. There's so many ways people can put the hat over your face and you have no idea. Next, you can sell 1 million albums and you're still driving an old beat up car, you know. So you just want to learn the business and know what you're signing, know what when people are talking about the business, publishing, copyright, mechanical royalties, there's so many different things to learn. And I tell every musician, make sure you know that stuff before you get into this.
Right. And still talking about business, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's called a music business for a reason. There's music and there's business.
Yeah.
If you don't learn the business, you're screwed. Yeah.
We have you as a singer for a movie, right? Rockstar.
A few, actually. A lot of people don't know the other movies I sang for. I sang for the cartoon Biker Mice from Mars. I sang for just a single word I said in the movie Flubber, George of the Jungle. I've sung in a lot of different movies, and even a movie called Rockstar I did when, my son was like 1 year old, like 89 I did this. And it was the same kind of concept. I provided the voice and there was an actor miming to my voice, but that looked a little too strange for me. It looked a little better when we got to the Rockstar movie and, the Steel Dragon. Jason Fleming, he kind of knew what to do with my voice.
But, still talking about this movie, right?
Yeah.
You sang the song, but you didn't appear. You didn't act.
No. There was a tiny conversation when we were doing the recordings. And there was a tiny concept. I think somebody said in the background, well, maybe we should audition Jeff as the singer for Steel Dragon in the movie. And I remember thinking, oh, that would be great. And then it went away. It never happened. But, I understand what they were going for. They needed a British singer. The whole idea of Rockstar was based on the Judas Priest story. And if people don't know that, the original title of the movie was called Metal God, which is a Judas Priest song. The idea of the movie was based on how Ripper Owens got into Judas Priest. Right. He was in a Judas Priest tribute band. Rob Halford left the band. They got this guy from a Judas Priest tribute band and joined Judas Priest. It's the same idea for the Rockstar movie. Yeah. So I guess it wouldn't work so well if I wasn't British and I'm Puerto Rican with brown skin. I understand what they're looking for.
Or if you were as cute as Mark Wahlberg, right?
Well, but I would have to be the Ripper Owens character, and I was the singer. I was the Rob Halford character, so it wouldn't work.
Good.
I'd like to know how your Brazilian citizenship process is doing.
My CPF is turned in, and I'm it's become the big joke. Everybody's saying this. Jeff, you should have your CPF. You're a Brasileiro now. You need to be here. You need to live. You're already here every year. You just come here and stay here.
Two things you like the most in here.
I know that.
Number one.
The
Caipirosca, I call it the nectar of the gods. Nowhere in the world is a drink so perfect because I love lime, I love sugar, and I love vodka. It's perfect. And now I'm kind of in between because coxinha was my big thing, and I'm kind of getting sick of it because I eat too many coxinhas when I come here. I'm like, ugh. So now pastel is the new number one.
Very good.
And about Brazilian bands, what Brazilian bands do you know or have you been listening to recently?
Well, everybody knows the obvious ones, the Angra, Sepultura. Trying to think of... I know Sinistra with Nando Fernandez, and of course, it started with Tempest with the guys in my band, and obviously now they're Spectra. So I don't know too many. There's Electric Mob from Curitiba, and Guy Oliver also from Curitiba. He's at a band called Landfall. So I learn about these kind of bands because they're my friends. I'm not really seeking out to listen and find new bands from Brazil until I meet these people. They become my friends, and then I discover their music.
And talking about friends, I imagine how wonderful must be your birthday party. You have so many famous fans, man.
Yes.
Well, I haven't had a big one since I turned 50, and this year I'm going to turn 60. So, oh God.
So let's have this party, man.
I'm going to be 60. So yeah, I don't know if I want to do what I did when I was 50. I'm still thinking about it. I don't remember the night. I was on stage for 3 hours. And by the time I finished the show, I was really drunk. And they said, okay, everybody leave. The party closed. So I don't want to go through that again.
And talking about concerts, which one is the most memorable one for you? I know this is a difficult one, but you know we are here to
First
to
that
make
comes
your
in
life
mind.
difficult.
I gotta say 1988 when I went to see Prince, the Love Sexy tour. I have the DVD of that tour, of that concert, and I remember everything he does on that DVD the same way when I saw him in Los Angeles. It just turned my life around. He's such a great performer. Everything about his aura, his songwriting, his as an artist, as even the way he speaks, the way he flirts with the audience. I learned so much from Prince. I don't know if it's released, but it was released in Europe back in the day, back like 89 it came out. It was really, really difficult to get in the US, and I had to get bootleg copies, and then I had to transfer from PAL to NTSC, and it looks like crap, but it's still one of my greatest shows ever.
Excellent.
Mr. Soto, such a pleasure having you here.
It's my pleasure every time to be part of the KISS FM family. Since the beginning, São Paulo has always been a second home for me. And maybe one day it'll be my first home.
Oh, who knows? Who knows?
Let's work on it.
Let's work on it.
Pessoal, muito obrigado. Você que ainda não assistiu o showzaço do Jeff Scott Soto, vai lá, KissClub, youtube.com/Rádio Kiss FM oficial. Valeu!
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 Kiss FM. Não deixe o rock sair de você.